The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion Remastered versus Xbox 360. That's right, we got the original version versus the incredible remaster. These videos are a ton of work to put together, so be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So we've got a long walk, we've got some stills, we've got a comparison going on here so that you can see the difference that decades makes in a game with the technology being used here. Now this was one of the hardest kind of comparison ones to do that I've really put together here, because you just move faster and better in the remaster, so it was very hard to synchronize the long-term movements. Now, for context, we're in quality mode for any of the standing imagery. Anywhere where we're just kind of standing, taking in the scene, that's quality mode, and anywhere where we're moving around, that is performance mode. And then we've actually got the 360 version running on the Series X, minus the Xbox One X enhancement, minus FPS boost. So basically as similar as we could get to the original. I mean, obviously it's going to run a lot smoother because it's on newer hardware as far as fluidity, but it's mostly to give you an idea visually of like what it was then versus what it is now. So on the left with Series X, when we are in the quality mode, which again are the ones where I'm just kind of standing there taking in the scene, that's a 4K resolution at 30 FPS, but it is actually more like a dynamic internal 1200p-ish. And then when we are moving around in the performance mode, it is a 4K resolution, 60 FPS, but it's more like 1080p. So that's just kind of the internals on that one. And then the original, good old Oblivion Xbox 360 edition, is like 600p at 30 FPS. Although again, you can play it on the Series X and bump that one up to a 4K. Is a little bit of an odd because it's not like a full. Anyways, you get what I'm talking about. You can bump it up to a 4K at 60 FPS with the FPS boost and the Xbox One X inherited enhancement, which makes it look pretty clean and really, really shine through. Now, again, like I've mentioned in previous things, this is the same game. They've taken the original engine, they've laid Unreal Engine 5 on top of it, so it is like the same game, but they've improved things, and you can actually sprint and move through the environment and the terrain a lot better, but it is the same game. So it is interesting to see just the dynamics and the changes here between the iterations and just the years of time. That's the biggest thing, is just the years of time that have gone by between the two of them. Now, like I've also been mentioning, there is something about the color palette of the original Oblivion that I quite like, in terms of it's got like more of a vibrant, saturated, high, like fantasy vibrancy that's definitely sort of lost in the translation, but I will say the new version is just hitting that level of realism. And again, it's like if they made it today, that's how it would look. It wouldn't look like the other one on the other side, but it is, true and true Oblivion, right? The layout, the aesthetics, the rocks, the texturing, the character model improvements that are crazy, honestly. And then, the improvements for like texturing on clothing and the environment and characters, and like it's a couple generational leaps of gaming technology, which is quite amazing. But true and true, the game is the same sort of thing. I tried to synchronize like the day and stuff, and there's like weathering and that can pop up, and whatever little atmospherics, but for the most part this is basically your regular comparison between the two, and you can just see like the work in the rock textures, the work in the water, the reflections, the sense of scale. They've added in things for the remastered version in the backdrop to make it feel more like you're in a specific part of Tamriel that's connected to other parts of it. They did an amazing job with this, seriously. Now, obviously, there are some performance stuff that needs to be smoothed out, but, it's just kind of a true and true Bethesda game all the way through, right? Like, it's the one you know and love, and it's just been updated, and I love doing this comparison. It was really neat to see the differences between the two, but yeah, the way you, like, move around the environment and, like, block up hills and stuff is just way better, so very, very hard to synchronize those, which is why it's a little choppier than it usually is for these comparisons. But again, liking the video is great, subscribing is great as well, and enjoy some non-commentary, and I'll see you out there in the lands of Oblivion.
Watch out!